Hello everyone. Today let us discuss the new concept, the continuation of Z transforms. In the previous classes, we have dealt with the basics of Z transforms, how to calculate Z transform of any sequence, say x of n. It is given by x of z. We have solved few problems. Then we have dealt with, we have listed few properties of region of convergence and few properties of Z transforms as well. Some 10 properties we have listed, and out of which some 6 properties we have applied in order to find the Z transform in some of the problems. So today let us discuss the next concept, that is called inverse Z transforms. As the name suggests, it is inverse of the Z transforms, means getting x of n from x of z. What we used to do in finding the Z transform, what we used to do in Z transforms is, a given sequence was your x of n. From the given sequence you have calculated x of z. Now in inverse Z transform, given thing will be your Z transform itself. This will be given to you and you need to find out the sequence x of n. That is the meaning of inverse Z transform. We need to get the sequence back from the Z transforms. Okay, there are two methods which we use to find the inverse Z transforms. The first one is partial fraction expansion method and the second one is power series expansion method. So let us study these one by one. The first one is a partial fraction method. We have you might have studied already the partial fractions in mathematics. So let us see how we can apply that partial fractions here in order to find the Z transform sequence. Okay. Now before going for the problems on this, let us have few basics, some general rules, how and when to use the partial fractions. Assume that we have a sequence, we have a Z transform x of z which is given by the ratio b by a. It means that we have already solved few problems. You might have observed in few problems, we had got finally x of z as say 1 by 1 minus z inverse, or some 5 by 6 divided by something like this. Okay, something which has some numerator z power and some denominator z powers. The ratio in this form, this has some z term and this has some z term. So the meaning of this is, we have considered a Z transform which contains both the numerator and the denominator Z powers. In generally, we are denoting this b of z in this form. If you expand this b by a, say this is your expansion, and observe here, substitute k values from 0 to m. Okay, so b0, b1, b2 up to bm, and k is 0. So b0, z raised to 0 will be 1. So no z power here at the first point. Then onwards all negative powers till m. This is numerator. And denominator, we don't have a0 in the denominator. This is a case where we have considered like this, a0 is equal to 1, because if you remember, all our Z transforms x of z were like 1 minus 1 minus. So denominator had 1 term. That's why a0 has been made as 1, just to be similar to our Z transforms. So if your Z transform x of z is in this form, numerator has some z powers and denominator has some z powers in general, then what is the condition when to use the partial fractions? So remember, we have got two conditions here. First condition is, if m is less than n, means numerator power is less than the denominator power. Say numerator has got, assume z inverse, then denominator is z to the power of minus 2, like that. your denominator power should be greater than the numerator power. If that condition exists in a particular problem, then we have to use the partial fraction expansion method directly by factorizing the denominator. This is the method. You will understand the meaning of this statement when we go for problems. Just remember, when this condition applies, when numerator power is less than the denominator, then use the partial fraction, and the denominator whatever is there, that should be factorized directly. This is the first condition. Now the second condition is, if obviously here it is less, so obviously the other condition is either it should be greater or equal. Say z raised to minus 2, z raised to minus 2, both are same, both the powers are equal. Or numerator power is, say, z raised to minus 3 and denominator is z raised to minus 2. Unequal, numerator power is greater. During that time, what we have to do is, we should go for long division application, long division method. Then we have to modify the given x of z, then we have to go for partial fractions. Remember, in both the cases we will apply partial fractions, but however for first condition direct factorization we do, but in the second condition we have to modify the given x of z in the given question by using the long division method, and then we should go for partial fractions. So I hope this basics of partial fractions is clear to you. With this, what we will do, we will continue with the solution of problems directly. Then you will understand how these two things we are applying in our problems based on the given conditions, greater, less than, or greater or equal to. If these two conditions, how they come in the problems and how we are going to use the partial fractions. Let us see that.